Hello again, Recast. Welcome to our question of the day for April 8th. We're continuing looking at the book of Jude, where we have been looking at this series of 3 examples of failure from the past that Jude is giving us in order to warn us about the danger involved in following false teachers and departing from God's truth. And we've talked about how these 3 examples are not in chronological order, and that's probably so that we can be shown really the starting point and then the destination of someone who departs from God's truth. Yesterday we reviewed and talked about how that begins with unbelief, ultimately leading to rebellion, which we saw in the example of the angels. And today we're going to see in the 3rd example that rebellion results in the indulging of our sinful desires. And this is in verse 7. You might want to grab your Bible for today's question. We're going to dig in a little bit. This example has to do with Sodom and Gomorrah. And due to the fact that we're trying to keep this a little family-friendly, we're just going to kind of summarize the big idea in a family-friendly application. I think ultimately what we see in the example of Sodom and Gomorrah is a group of people who gave in to their sin nature. They gave in to their sinful desires, and they engaged in those sinful desires and ultimately pursued behavior that is far from what God expects of his people. And as a result, they are undergoing, the text says, the punishment of eternal fire. And that serves as a reminder to us of the consequences of sin. So backing up, I want you to think about all 3 of these examples of failure from the past. And I'm suggesting to you that Jude is using them to warn his audience about the danger of following false teachers. For today's question, I want you to think about this. Based on those examples, what do you think these false teachers were suggesting to the people to which Jude was writing? What were they teaching them that Jude did not want them to buy into? And then once you as a group have come up with a few ideas of what you think they may have been teaching, I want you to talk about whether or not you hear similar ideas today, and ultimately discuss how we might be able to avoid and use these examples as a protection against those errors. Thanks for joining us. And we have a few days left before Easter. I hope you're all encouraged as you are thinking about and pointing your mind and your hearts toward the resurrection of Jesus Christ.